Hello everybody, this is CholeraSC bringing you set 2 of the MST Group 10, and in this we have Yellow Arnc, a Zerg player, twin of Luxury, versus MBS, a Protoss player on CJ, and I think MBS is definitely going to have a tough road ahead of him. MBS, unfortunately for him, is 0-6 in his pro game career, one-on-one. He's mainly a 2-on-2 player, I think, on CJ, but he hasn't won a single pro game yet. He's 0-4 against Zerg, and Yellow Arnc, I think, is going to have just a big advantage here going into this game. It's interesting sometimes to note, what the differences are between identical twins. I mean, if you think about it, YArnc is the identical twin of Luxury. They're the closest possible to being clones, and yet Luxury is just slightly better at StarCraft. Luxury is, for example, 66% against Zerg, whereas YArnc is only 42%. So, you wonder the subtle differences in upbringing. Who got more milk when they were younger? Who was beaten up after school one day and who wasn't? Who did this and who didn't? And how that translates into differences between the two identical twins. Something interesting to think about. Anyway, here we have MBS in red at the 3 o'clock. We have YArnc in brown at the 9 o'clock. Zerg player, and this is Athena once again. I had the most bizarre StarCraft dream a few nights ago. I was playing StarCraft against Jack Shepard, the doctor on the show Lost. Yeah, I was playing StarCraft with Jack, and it had nothing to do with Lost, but I was building Goliaths and Medic Marines, and somehow he had control of both Zerg and Protoss units, so my Medic Marines died to his Protoss units, and my Goliaths died to his Zerg units. Very scary playing against Jack Shepard. I didn't see Sawyer there though, or Locke, but maybe they'll appear in my future dreams. Anyway, so we're going to see the Forge First fast expand here from MBS, and we saw an overpool there from YArnc. So YArnc going for a slightly slower build than the 9 pool, but I think this will allow him to get a second expansion. A second hatchery should he wish at the expansion location faster than the 9 pool will allow him. And it looks like he's not going for the early gas, so he's probably just going to build those Zerglings to try to take out the scouting probe and maybe set up a bit of a contain. But he's probably not going for the early run by past the cannons. And here we see the probe in the base of YArnc. He has spotted the overpool going up here, and I think he should know what's coming here. Looks like he's probably going to go for cannons first. No, looks like, interesting enough, he's going for Nexus first here. So MBS, despite seeing the early spawning pool, is deciding to go Nexus first. And this is where a mind game comes in. Perhaps YArnc will suspect that MBS, since he knows MBS has a vision of his base, he's going to suspect that MBS has gone for cannon first. And looks like he's actually not sending his Zerglings into the base of MBS. I think he had enough time to actually get his Zerglings past the cannons if he had known that MBS was going Nexus first. But I think this is almost like you know that I know, since, oh man, and MBS making a big mistake there, letting his probe go down to just a couple unspeed upgraded Zerglings, and looks like his photon cannons are not warping in. They're just barely going to warp in time, I think, before the Zerglings get there. And see, this is what I meant. Had YArnc sent his Zerglings straight away into MBS's base, he would have actually gotten all of the Zerglings through, and that would have been GG for MBS. But a little bit of a mind game there, perhaps. MBS trying to make YArnc think that he would have put the photon cannons up, obviously given the fact that he saw the early pool and not doing so at all, putting the Nexus up. So really, I think MBS taking just the slightest of lead so far economically in the game, but certainly an economic lead. But unfortunately, he does not have the scouting advantage, which can play a big difference. In fact, YArnc has a Zergling inside of MBS's base, whereas the early probe was killed off, and that is a big mistake there. Skilled Protoss players should not lose that early probe at all unless the Zerglings are speed upgraded. And I think that this will leave the way for YArnc to go for some fast cheese rush should he decide to go for it, like a 2-hatchery Hydra's break, or perhaps a fast Spire. And we are actually seeing a fast lair here from YArnc, probably with his first 100 gas. So notice that YArnc didn't have to save up gas for the metabolic boost first for his Zerglings. He decided to just go straight for the lair build, and I think that that is very smart there. We could be seeing Spire first, and perhaps a Mutalisk Rush. That could be very interesting to watch. Sometimes those Zerg players have gotten Spire first just for the Scourge. And now we are seeing the Cybernetics Core up for MBS. So yeah, by the way, just leave some ideas about whether you guys like the idea of making an introductory video to StarCraft, an introduction to StarCraft for people who don't know anything, and what I should put in there. I was thinking of perhaps just going to a first-person view and showing units and just basic things about tech trees, and then going and explaining a relatively simple game between two well-known pro players. But certainly it's something I'm very interested in, not just because most of you guys obviously know StarCraft very well, but it's something for you guys to show your spouses, your partners, your friends, and also something good for the general community. As English commentators expand to a wider audience, I think one of my main goals, and Aspire First here from YArnc, one of my main goals is to expand the game to not just StarCraft aficionados, but to new people who are just completely new to programming, because I think StarCraft is a game that could have general acceptance. Certainly StarCraft 2 perhaps will. Anyway, so now we're seeing two Zealots trying to push out for MBS. MBS really needs to show some creativity in this game, I think, to beat YArnc. He's actually going for a fast Citadel here and a fast +1, so leads me to think he's going to be going for that fast Zealot push, and I actually don't see a Stargate up for him, so this could be a very fast game, because YArnc is going to have Mutalisks very soon, should he decide to make them, and really, I don't think he's going to be prepared at all. MBS won't be prepared at all for Mutalisk. He's got one Dragoon, a couple of cannons, and that's it. He's going to have a bunch of speed upgraded Zealots, but that's not going to do anything. That's going to do Squadouche against Mutalisks. And now we're seeing perhaps YArnc deciding to go for a run by, but no, it looks like he's not. A fast Templar Archives, so this is the interesting build, quote-unquote, from MBS. He's deciding to go not for Stargate first, and I think YArnc knows this certainly by now. We're going to be seeing some Mutalisks. Actually, he's consuming his larva for something else. I think he should be saving them just for Mutalisks at this point, instead of whatever the heck he's building from there. And really, he needs Mutalisks. He's got a Hydra's Den going up also. I think he's also got another expansion going up below his main base at the 8 o'clock position. So going for a second expansion. Meanwhile, though, just High Templar and Dragoons are probably going to be the things that are defending his base against Mutalisks. Probably some Archons will be coming out, but just note that pretty much every Protoss player goes Corsair first for a reason, and really the reason is you don't want to get owned by the Mutalisks, and we could be seeing that happening very soon. Should YArnc decide to build those Mutalisks, we'll have to see how good his game sense is. Those probably are Mutalisks. Let's hope they are Mutalisks for YArnc's sake. YArnc should know what the game is right now, what the deal is. 2 photon cannons going up in the main base there, and no, they're drones! Drones from YArnc! Wow. I'd say that was an error right there, actually. YArnc, having spotted that MBS didn't have a Stargate, deciding to go for drones first anyway. Very, very strange, peculiar play here. Well, not drones first, but deciding not to build Mutalisks, importantly. So it looks like we aren't going to be seeing those Mutalisks, despite the fast Spire there. And I'm sure there are some reasons, some good justifications for that. But I think he had a chance there, a golden chance to take the game very quickly, and he chose not to take it. The game was certainly within his grasp had he decided to save up the larva and then the resources for 9 Mutalisks. I think that would have been it. Interesting enough, a DT going up first here from MBS, and I think MBS now is going to be very prepared for any kind of Mutalisk harass can come in once he gets a couple of High Templar. And looks like he's trying to get a harass here at the expansion of YArnc. And bad micro here. He's going to lose that Dark Templar. No, not losing that Dark Templar, but almost losing it. Lurker eggs for YArnc. So YArnc going Lurkers first, actually. So interesting play here from YArnc and from MBS, actually. MBS sort of unwittingly has put himself in a decent position, actually, to deal with Lurkers. Despite being absolutely vulnerable for a minute there against air, he's actually put himself in a decent position against Lurkers, which is what YArnc has decided to do. So really, this is sort of a belly flop here from YArnc, like diving from the 10-meter tower or a 10-meter platform and just flopping on his belly instead of doing a nice triple pike or whatever the hell the Chinese competitors are doing in the Olympics. Crazy stuff, whatever they're doing. Very impressive stuff, winning all those medals and everything. Anyway, now we are seeing the Lurkers, though, up in front. And the thing is, the build isn't bad at all for dealing with Lurkers, because as we see, we're going to see Storms very soon here from MBS, and he's going to be able to blanket those Lurkers with Storms. Here's the first Storm. Lurkers, of course, can absorb a little bit more than one Storm. One Storm won't kill them. But now we're seeing the robotics facility going up for MBS. And MBS has gotten all these gateways up because he hasn't had to use